In today's video, we are going to be discussing the main differences between the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus and the Tesla Model 3 Long Range. I've been wanting to get a car for myself for quite some time, and I've been looking at Teslas for over the years, and they've just been something that's always fascinated me, especially, I run a tech channel for God's sakes, and it's like the Apple product of the road. So it was only a matter of time before I went and purchased one, and that has officially happened. While I was going through the decision-making process of which one I wanted to go with, I was really weighing heavy between the Model 3 Standard Range Plus and the Long Range, and was having a little bit of a hard time understanding the differences between the two. So I decided once my decision had been made that I would make a video kind of explaining the differences between the two models and why I chose the Long Range model for myself. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get into some of the differences between these two models. So the first thing I want to mention is something that's really displayed on their page, but a lot of people don't actually recognize it, and that's the difference between the Standard Range Plus being just a single motor and a rear-wheel drive car similar to most cars that are on the road, or the long range models and the performance models actually having a dual motor, which is going to have some more effects on some of the other things I'm going to talk about, but it also allows you to have all-wheel drive. If you're someone that likes to carry your car on different types of terrain, or you have a lot of snow where you're at, all-wheel drive is pretty much a must if you want to make sure to have the best control available of your car. That being said, this will be my first all-wheel drive vehicle, and I have been driving a rear-wheel drive vehicle for 15 years with no issues, but I do live in Atlanta where snow is kind of something that doesn't really happen too often, and when it does, it's not that crazy as far as how deep it gets. So the second thing I wanted to bring up is the acceleration, and what I mean by that is the 0 to 60 acceleration. This is not going to be a big deal for a lot of people, but it's a great talking piece and something that is really cool to show people if it's their first time riding in an electric vehicle. The Standard Range Plus has a 0 to 60 of 5.3 seconds compared to the Long Range model at 4.2 seconds. For the Long Range model, there is an acceleration boost that you can purchase for just $2,000 more from the Tesla app on your phone, bringing it down to about 3.7 seconds from 0 to 60 on the Long Range models. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a deal breaker, but is definitely something really cool, and having that extra punch when driving I'm sure will be awesome. So next up, we're going to talk about range, and if you're not familiar with what that is, it's technically the range of how long you can go before you have to recharge again. The Standard Range has a 263 mile battery, where the Long Range model has 353 mile battery. So that brings the range at 90 miles more for the Long Range model. Definitely a huge plus, especially if you're driving long distances with your commute to work or wherever you may want to go in a day. Next up is the top speed. The top speed, not really a big deal for most of us, but if you're into the cars for how fast they go, the Standard Range Plus tops out at 140 miles per hour, and the Long Range Plus tops out at 145 miles per hour. So one thing to note that was on the website that not necessarily a feature, but it's something that I wanted to call out. When you're going through the details section, it says that very cold weather driving, you want to prefer to have a dual motor engine. So this would mean that you want to use either a long range or a performance vehicle. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and say that if you drive in very cold weather as like a standard, you want to get a long range over the Standard Range Plus. So the next thing I wanted to mention is the premium connectivity. Premium connectivity is kind of a must in a Tesla if you want to get all the features available that are in the car. Premium connectivity controls the light traffic visualization, the satellite maps, video streaming, karaoke, music streaming, and the internet browser. The Standard Range Plus comes with 30 days complimentary, where the Long Range model comes in with 1 year complimentary. Keep in mind, this is a $10 service, not really going to break the bank for you having to pay an extra $10 a month if you decide to go with the Standard Range Plus, but it is something to think about that you do get a whole year for free with the Long Range model. So the next section is something that is so vague and so hard to see online, and if you are someone that's been looking into these videos and you have an answer, by all means, please post this in the comments below. But what I want to cover is the audio options between the two. So there is a partial premium audio available on the Standard Range Plus, and what I've found is it's somewhere around 6 speakers, where the long range model has 14 speakers and has an immersive sound system. A lot of people say they can't tell the difference between the two, but I'm really big into my audio and pretty picky with a lot of things. I'm by no means an audiophile, but I always listen to music or have something going while I'm in the car, so this was definitely something that I took very seriously, and I wanted to have the best audio sound system available on my car. So the last thing that I wanted to mention, not necessarily is the last difference between them, but it's definitely one of the ones that I wanted to highlight in this video, and that is the missing floor mats from the Standard Range Plus model. So when you buy a Standard Range Plus vehicle, you do not get floor mats with your car, whereas with the long range you do get some at least carpet floor mats. I don't plan on using these. I've actually already purchased floor mats, some all-weather floor mats that I'm going to be using in my Tesla, but I do find it interesting that they don't give the most basic just carpet liners that you would get in basically any new car. So that was kind of a drawback for me, but I mean, really they're shorting you about $100 at most for all carpet, you know, floor mats, but it is something that I did want to point out. So guys, to just recap all of that, the reason why I chose the long range model over the standard range was the immersive audio sound system. That was huge for me, and the extra range was definitely huge too. The fact that it has 90 miles extra. And something that a lot of people forget is you're not charging the Tesla to 100% during day-to-day use. You want to actually hover anywhere between 50% to 90 to 95% at most, and leaving that extra percentage just for long trips. This just helps prolong the battery life of your car, and it's part of one of the things that Tesla actually encourages on all of their vehicles. So that extra 90 miles makes a big difference, especially if you are cutting from, you know, 253 miles down to, you know, 100 something miles. Personally, I do a lot of driving to my family's house, and that's a 160 mile round trip. So getting into, you know, close to that 60-70% of the battery life of a Standard Range Plus was kind of a moment for me. Also, I like the idea of being able to get the acceleration boost. I don't really think that I will get that right away. I definitely plan on doing a video on it and at least testing it out. There's a couple ways that you can actually get this and see if you like it before actually, you know, keeping the purchase, and I'll cover that in another video. But yeah, I think that it would be cool to have the ability to do an acceleration boost if I ever need to. And personally, I feel like the dual motor vehicles will one, last longer as far as updates go, and I think just overall would have better resale value than a Standard Range Plus model if I decide to sell the car in 3 to 5 years. So guys, I hope you found this video interesting. It's been a blast making it, and I plan on making more types of videos like this. Like I said, if you want to see more tech videos, Tesla tech videos, or just tech videos in general, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more like Tesla owner style videos, I'll probably be doing a lot of those on my personal channel, which is also linked down below.